Hello, hello. Welcome back to the mat. And welcome to our Crow with Confidence practice. Crow pose is one of the most common poses that I get asked about, how to execute it, how to get into it. So this practice will help to prepare us for crow pose, and then we'll break it down a little bit as we play with it. So for this practice, I am going to recommend 2 yoga blocks and a blanket or a towel or a cushion. It's like any old cushion or pillow. If you have a bolster, maybe a bolster would work as well. Basically anything you could use as a little crash pad. If you have not joined us in the online tribe, come on in and join us. You'll receive a brand new yoga class and guided meditation in your inbox every week, and you'll be part of a supportive community. Click the link in the description below. Come on in and join us. Alrighty, go ahead, grab your props, unroll your mat, and I will meet you on your back. Alrighty, so come onto your back, all the way back. You can hug the knees into the chest here and check in with the low back. See how that's feeling today. And from here, we're gonna come into some hip opening. So bring the sole of the left foot flat onto the earth. Cross the right ankle just above the left knee, creating a figure 4 in the legs. If this feels like it's enough sensation in the outer right hip, you can stay right here. Otherwise, you can start to bring the left leg in towards the chest, threading the right hand through the center of the legs and the left hand to the outside of the left leg, holding on to the back of the left thigh, and gently bringing the leg in towards the chest. As you start to bring this opening into the right hip, start to dip into your breath. Connect with your breath. Notice the quality of it in this moment. Go ahead and release the left leg, bringing the sole of the left foot flat onto the mat again. And go ahead and stack the right knee on top of the left. So crossing the leg all the way over. And then drop both knees over towards the left as you keep the right shoulder on the earth for a twist. And start to bring a bit more depth and length to your breaths. And go ahead and lift back up to center. And we'll switch sides. So bring the sole of the right foot flat onto the earth. Crossing the left ankle just above the right knee, creating your figure 4, deciding if this feels like enough sensation for you. Otherwise, bringing the right leg in towards the chest, threading left arm through the center of the legs, right arm to the outside of the right leg, and gently bringing the leg in towards the chest. You can begin to turn on your Ujjayi breath, bringing that slight constriction to the back of the throat, creating an audible breath, giving your breath voice. Go ahead and release the right leg. Sole of the right foot goes flat onto the earth. Crossing left leg on top of right so that the knees stack, and then dropping the legs over towards the right, keeping left shoulder on the earth, coming into your twist on the other side. Lift the legs back up to center. And from here, we'll start to turn on the core, which is going to play a crucial role in the execution of your crow pose. So we're going to find sort of a reverse tabletop. So arms are going to extend straight up to the sky, and then you're going to lift the legs, bringing them into 90-degree angles. So make sure that the knees are right above the hips. It's a lot easier to bring the knees in closer, so that's going to be the tendency. I want you to really make a concerted effort to keep the knees right above the hips. So you're going to feel the lower belly starting to work. It's going to feel like the low back wants to lift off the earth. Really press the navel back towards the spine. Keep the lower back down. So it's like you're in your tabletop, but on upside down. Now from here, go ahead and extend the right arm overhead and extend the left leg long. Keep the right knee right above the right hip. Lift the right arm and the left leg. And switch. Left arm goes overhead, right leg goes long. And then come back. And then switch. Right arm, left leg. And lift. Left arm, right leg. And lift. One more each side. Right arm, left leg, and lift. Left arm, right leg, and lift. Hug the knees into the chest. All right, from here, you're going to keep the big toes touching and open the knees out wide. And you're going to extend the arms straight up towards the sky, just like we just had them. And now from here, you're going to lift the hips. You're going to lift the head and the shoulders. So you're going to imagine you're being pulled up by the sky. Everything lifts up and the knees are going to make contact with the triceps. So take an inhale here. Exhale, lift everything up, knees to the triceps, and stay right here. Okay, so you're in your crow pose now. You're in your crow pose, just upside down. So the hips are lifted off the earth, head and shoulders are lifted. You should feel the belly really fired up. And release. Hug the knees into the chest for a moment. We're gonna come into that one more time, now that you know where we're going. So this is your crow pose on your back. And the same belly activation you're feeling here, you're going to want to tap back into that when we come into crow pose on our hands. So big toes touch, knees open wide, arms to the sky. Take an inhale. Exhale, lift the hips, lift head and shoulders, knees come to the triceps, and stay. Belly's doing so much work here, pressing navel to the spine. Take one more inhale and release. Hugging the knees, rock it side to side. Alrighty, from here we're gonna roll ourselves up into Savasana boat pose. We're gonna take 5 rolls. Every time you roll up, see if you can keep the feet hovering over the earth. So you're going to inhale to roll back. Exhale, roll up, keep the feet lifted. Yeah, inhale, roll back. Exhale, roll up. 3 more like this. Keep the feet lifted. 2 more, roll back, roll up and hover the feet. 1 more, roll back, roll up, and this time stay. So you can keep the hands behind the thighs if that makes this more comfortable for you. If you feel steady, releasing the arms. Shins can be parallel to the earth. If you've got the juice, you can extend the legs long. We're staying for just a few more breaths. And release. Go ahead and cross the shins, roll over them, and come into your tabletop position. Finding your hands and knees with the shoulders over the wrists and the hips over the knees. Moving through cat-cow, inhale to drop the belly, lifting the gaze and the tailbone. And exhaling to round the spine. Inhale to arch. And exhale, round. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, chin to chest. One more, inhale. And exhale. Finding a neutral spine. Go ahead and pop the hips out towards the left. And then turn to look over the left shoulder. Feel opening in the right side of the body. And then switch sides. Pop the hips over to the right. Sassy hip. Look over the right shoulder. And then switch. Opening right side. Switch. Opening left side. Continue like this. Opening into the sides of the body. And then coming back to center, walking the hands forward about one hand's length, tucking the toes, lifting knees and hips, downward facing dog. Take any movement that speaks to you here. This is our first downward facing dog, so maybe pedaling the feet, shifting the hips, checking in with the calves, the hamstrings. And then when you feel satisfied with movement, find stillness in your downward facing dog. Come on forward into plank pose. Shoulders come right above the wrists. Navel towards spine, tailbone towards the feet. Go ahead and bring the feet together. Yeah, so the big toes are touching. And then roll onto the outside edge of the right foot, lifting left arm to the sky for your side plank on the right side. Press the hips up towards the sky, maybe turning the gaze up towards the left hand. Take one more inhale. Exhale, left hand comes down. Come through center, plank pose, and then come onto the outside edge of the left foot, lifting the right arm up. Press the hips up towards the sky. Maybe the gaze turns up towards the right hand. One more inhale. Exhale, right hand down, downward facing dog. Beginning to walk the feet up to the hands. Find hip width distance in the feet. Let the torso and head hang heavy here. Maybe finding a gentle sway in the torso. And then go ahead and bring the big toes to touch. You'll have a slight gap between the heels. Inhale to lift halfway, lengthen the crown of the head forward, and exhale to fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, stay right here, bring hands onto hips. Inhale, come up to stand with a flat back. Beautiful. Find your Tadasana mountain pose here at the top of your mat. The legs are active. Pubic bone is pulling up towards the navel. Shoulder blades are pulling back and down. Moving through a few rounds of Surya Namaskar A. Inhale to lift the arms high. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, step it back, find your plank pose. Take an inhale here. Exhale, lower the knees, and then lower the torso to the earth. Inhale, open the chest, cobra pose. And exhale, press the hips back, downward facing dog. On your inhale, look between the hands. Exhale, step it up to the top of the mat. Inhale to lift the gaze. And exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up to stand, lifting the arms high. And exhaling, hands into heart. 2 more rounds like this. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, step or hop if you'd like to hop back straight into chaturanga. And from your plank, you can lower the knees or keep them lifted. Chaturanga. Inhale into cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to look between hands. Exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale to lift the gaze. And exhale to fold. Inhale, rise to stand, lift the arms high. Exhale, let's fold right back down. Inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, step or hop back. Make your way through your vinyasa as you would like. Inhaling to open the chest. And exhaling to downward facing dog. Inhale, look between hands. Exhale, step or hop, top of the mat. Inhale to lift the gaze. And exhale to fold. Inhale, rise to stand, lift the arms. Exhale, hands into heart. Release arms by the sides of the body. Find a tall Tadasana mountain pose. From here, we're going to come into a chair pose, Utkatasana. So bend the knees deeply, lift the arms by the ears. Make sure that the weight is in the heels. You should be able to see your toes just past your knees if you look down. Bring the pubic bone up towards the navel gently. From here, bring hands into heart center. Take an inhale to lengthen the spine. As you exhale, twist to the right, hooking the left elbow to the outside of the right leg. Notice if the left knee wants to jut out way past the right, bring it back in space as you bring the left hip back in space. Finding even hips as you twist towards the right. Press the palms into each other to help you twist. Now from here, stay with me, look down at the feet. Come onto the ball of the left foot, so lift the left heel, and then lift the whole left foot. Take the left foot way back, see if you can stay in your twist. Bring the foot onto the earth, coming into a twisted high lunge. If you need to come out of the twist for balance and come back into it, that's totally cool. Do what you gotta do. Go ahead and release the twist. Lift the arms high in your high lunge. Bring hands into heart center. Lean the torso over the right leg. Use the left toes to propel you forward. Come up to stand at the top of the mat. Beautiful. Utkatasana, chair pose. Bend the knees deeply. Lift the arms. Hands into heart. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist to the left, hooking the right elbow outside the left leg. Notice if the right knee sticks out past the left, bring it back in space, press the palms. Stay with me, look down at the feet. Lift the right heel, lift the whole right foot. Take the right foot way back and bring it onto the earth. Readjust your twist if you need. Undo your twist, lift the arms high, high lunge. Hands to the earth. Take the left foot back, downward facing dog. From here, we're going to come into some lizard walks. So as you inhale, lift the right leg up and back. As you exhale, tap the right knee to the right tricep, and then step the right foot outside the right hand. Inhale, open the chest towards the front of your mat, lift the gaze. And as you exhale, step the right foot back into downward facing dog. Left side, inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, tap the left knee to the left tricep, step the foot outside the hand. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, step it back, downward facing dog. Right side, inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, tap knee to tricep and step the foot outside the hand. Inhale, open chest. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Left side, inhale, leg lifts. Exhale, tap the tricep and then step the foot outside. Inhale, open chest. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. From here, step the right foot in between the hands. The left heel is going to come down at a 45-degree angle. We're coming into warrior one. Once you've got the stance, lift the torso. So you want square hips to the front of your mat. Lifting the arms high. And from here, we're going to find an eagle wrap in the arms. So take the arms out into a T or into cactus arms. And we're going to wrap the left arm underneath the right. And you can either bring hands onto the shoulders if this feels like enough, or you can lift the forearms, bring the backs of the hands to touch, or you can wrap the forearms, bringing the palms to touch. Lifting the elbows in line with the shoulders, pulling the hands away from the face. Take an inhale to lift the heart up to the sky. And as you exhale, fold, humble warrior. You can rest the torso on the right thigh, or bring the right leg to the inside of the right thigh as you drop the crown of the head towards the earth. Inhale, lift back up. Release the arms, lift them up high. Bring hands into heart center, shift the torso over the right leg. Use the left toes to propel you forward, warrior three. The left toes are pointing down towards the mat, belly pulling up and in. Really active left leg. Take one more inhale. Exhale, step the left foot all the way back, find a high lunge. Exhale, take the hands to the earth, the right foot back. Take a vinyasa here if you'd like it. Otherwise, you can head straight to downward facing dog. Take the left foot, step it between the hands. Find your warrior one on the left side. Find the stance. Square the hips to the front of the mat. Lift the arms high. Take the arms out into a T or cactus arms. This time crossing right arm under left. Finding the variation that works for you here. Finding your eagle wrap. Inhaling, lift the heart. Exhale, fold, humble warrior. Go ahead and lift the torso, unwrap the arms, lift them high. Hands come to heart center. Lean the torso, use the right toes to press you forward into your warrior three. Super active right leg, reach through the right heel. And then step the right foot way back, finding a high lunge here for a moment. Take an inhale. Exhale, hands to the earth. Take the left foot back. Take a vinyasa if you'd like it. Or you can head straight into downward facing dog. Alrighty, from here, you're going to step the right foot outside the right hand. And then step the left foot outside of the left hand. We're coming into Malasana squat. So dropping the hips down low. If this feels like it's too much, it's not really working, you can bring a block underneath your seat and have a seat on your block. if you need the support there. Feel free to take this just like this. Everything else will be the same. Elbows will press to the insides of the legs, lifting the heart. So you want to imagine the tailbone reaching towards the earth and the sternum reaching up towards the sky. I'll be here in Malasana for a few breaths, opening into the hips. So make sure you're not sinking down into this pose. You want there to be a rising out of this pose. So you're rooted down, but at the same time, lifting up really high. So imagine the crown of the head reaching really high. Alrighty, from here, we're going to come into a different variation of Malasana. So you can bring the hands down. If you're sitting on a block, go ahead and move it. You're going to bring the feet to touch. You're going to squat down like so. And from here, you're going to open the knees wide. So you've got the feet touching, the heels will probably be touching as well as the knees open out wide. From here, you're going to bring your seat way back as you lower the chest down towards the earth, reaching the arms forward. So this is a really nice stretch for the lower back. And it is from here that we're going to play with our crow pose. So you've got the torso down pretty low between the legs here. I'd like you to keep the torso as low as you can. Lift the gaze, so you're looking towards the front of your mat, towards the hands, and go ahead and bring the hands back towards the body so that the palms come flat onto the earth. And you've got the elbows coming back towards the legs. So you want to make sure at all times that the elbows do not splay out to the sides. You want the elbows pulling back towards the body. From here, you're going to look forward, so you want to keep the gaze really lifted. If you look down, you'll go down. And then come up onto tippy toes. Now from here, and this is a really crucial part, you want to squeeze the legs in towards the arms. So you want the knees to be sort of on the outside of the arms, and you come up onto tippy toes and shift the weight forward. And you can stay right here and play with how that feels. Now I have a couple of prop options for you as we move into this. So one option to give you a little bit more height on the feet is to bring a block underneath your feet. And everything else about coming into this will be exactly the same. You'll have the block there, and you'll bring your feet up onto it. So same setup in the feet. You're gonna crouch down low, open the knees wide, lower the torso really low as you can. Bring the hands back, look forward. Again, coming up onto tiptoes. So this should be a little bit easier. You've got a bit more height here. You wanna shift it forward. Maybe one foot lifts, maybe the other lifts. Now, if you are fearful of falling forward, I have a couple options for you as well. So a more beginner option is to bring a block down, and you're gonna rest your forehead right on that block. So either with the block under your feet or without, however you'd like to do it. You can choose if you want that block there or not. Setup is exactly the same. Everything stays the same, and you might need to play around with the positioning of this block here. Hands come back, lift the seat, look forward. You can go ahead and drop the forehead onto the block. Use the belly, press navel to spine. Maybe a leg lifts, maybe the other does as you rest the forehead on the block. That takes a little bit of the fear out of coming forward into this pose. Now, if you are sort of past the point of using a block underneath your forehead, if you feel comfortable moving that block, but you still are kind of fearful of crushing down onto your face, it's a totally legitimate fear. Bring a blanket or like a bolster, a cushion, a pillow, a towel that's folded up. Bring that down and make that your little crash pad. And you're gonna do all the exact same things. Feet together, open the knees wide, lower the torso really, really low. Snuggle in between the legs. Hands come down, lift onto toes, squeeze squeeze the legs in toward the midline. Allow that to start turning on the core. So remember being in crow on your back. Feel the same belly action here as you shift forward. Maybe lifting a foot, maybe lifting two. You've got your crash pad there just in case. Yeah. So take a few minutes here to play with props if you like to play with props. Maybe no props if you're comfortable without the props. Take a few minutes to play with your crow pose. And it's totally okay if you don't lift the feet off of the earth. If you're starting out with crow pose, it takes some time. But make sure that you're really feeling that belly activation as you come into this. That part is super, super important. That's what's going to give you lift. So I like to imagine as I come into this, sort of a string that's attached to my belly button, that it comes out through the back of my spine. And there's a puppet master that's pulling that string up towards the sky. So the belly really scoops up, yeah? Take a few more minutes here to play with that. Remember to keep the gaze lifted. If you're a crow pro, maybe you play with shooting the legs back for chaturanga and taking a vinyasa to let that go. Maybe you want to have nothing to do with that, and that is totally cool too. We're all going to meet in a tabletop position, hands and knees. And from your tabletop, make sure that you've got the hips stacked right above the knees. And the legs are going to stay exactly where they are. You're going to begin to walk the hands forward, melting the chest towards the earth for your puppy pose. Forehead can come onto the earth. Maybe the chin comes onto the earth. And from here, lift the head, slide yourself all the way forward into Sphinx pose. So bringing the belly down. You've got the forearms on the earth with the elbows right underneath the shoulders. Open the chest forward. So it's like you're trying to pull the chest through the gate of the arms. Crown of the head reaching high. And then from here, open the elbows out to let your torso come all the way to the earth. Press yourself back into a child's pose. Seat to feet, forehead to the earth. And from here, go ahead and lift the torso. You can shift the hips onto one side. We're going to come onto our backs. So make your way there, how you'd like to get there. Coming onto your back, we're going to hug the knees in towards the chest. Give them a loving squeeze. And then take both knees, drop them over towards the left, keeping right shoulder on the earth. For a supine twist, you can take the gaze over the right shoulder. If that feels okay on your neck. Lifting knees to center. And go ahead and drop them over towards the right, keeping left shoulder on the earth. Maybe bringing gaze over the left shoulder. Lift the legs back up to center. Come into a happy baby, lifting feet up towards the sky, taking hold of the inside or outside edges of the feet and pulling the feet back down towards the earth, finding a gentle rock here. And from here, we'll make our way into our Savasana. So if there are any final movements that your body is craving before finding stillness, feel free to pause the video and take whatever it is that your body would like today. If you are ready to come with me into Shavasana, go ahead and extend the legs long, feet about as wide as your mat. Arms by the sides of the body, the palms turned up towards the sky. Take a big breath in, fill up the belly. Open the mouth and let it go. Take 2 more like this. Big breath in. Let it go. 1 more big inhale. And release. If you have more time and you'd like to stay in Savasana, please stay here. Otherwise, start to bring some gentle movement into fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Extend the arms long overhead. Take a nice long stretch. And bring the soles of your feet flat onto your mat and roll onto the side of your choice. Using the top hand to help press you up, make your way into a comfortable seat. Sitting up nice and tall, bring the palms to touch at heart center. And let's seal this practice with the sound of Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. Peace for yourself, peace for someone you love, and peace for someone you don't know. Take a big inhale. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you so much for allowing me to lead you in practice. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me here on the mat today. I will meet you right back here on the mat next time.